Hi, Lucy here again. First, can I just apologise for the quality of these videos? For some reason, my webcam seems to be playing up. I do have a friend that's going to take a look at it later for me, and hopefully by tomorrow it will be up and running as normal. So, as promised, here I am. The first video that I made, I list a few things that are wrong with me. I missed out something, which was stomach ulcers. I found out I had stomach ulcers about 3 years ago now. I was in hospital. I had been sick for about 3 days, couldn't eat anything, couldn't drink. I'd been admitted, they had me on a drip and were doing tests on me because they weren't too sure what it was to start with. I was in there for about 4 weeks in the end. It was a bit of a nightmare. They tried to give me pain relief, various types. Oromorph, which is liquid morphine. Liquid morphine is a quick fix, really. It was okay. It wasn't aggravating my pain anymore. But the relief was only maybe for a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, and the pain was back again. That's my phone, typically. They can wait. Then there was the tramadol. I've been on tramadol before. Didn't particularly like it because I'd heard bad things about it. However, they tried me on it in hospital and it further aggravated my pain. So they then went on to a different tablet. Now, I didn't know what the tablet was. They were giving me one in the morning and one in an evening. All I knew was that it was helping the pain, which then was such a relief because things were going really slow. I wasn't getting any answers. They were worried it was something gynae related. I knew it wasn't. I knew they were going down the wrong track. However, after about 3 weeks, it was actually one of the nurses on my ward who was fab. I've been on that ward a few times. It's Ward 1 at Hull Royal. The staff on there are exceptional and they work very, very hard. They were brilliant with me. This nurse in particular, I won't mention his name, he kept me going while I was there. He was always jolly, always happy. If anyone's been on Ward 1 at Hull Royal, you'll know who I'm talking about. But one day he pops in to see me and I've been drinking a lot of apple juice because I love apple juice and couldn't really keep anything down, and I thought I was being healthy. And he suggested had I tried not drinking apple juice and maybe tried just a fizzy drink to see how I would get on. So he went for his break, and when he came back he just brought me a bottle of Coke and I drank it and I felt okay, to be honest. He spoke to the doctors and I think 2 days later they tested me and found that I had stomach ulcers. As soon as they knew what I had, they put me on a tablet called lansoprazole, which you take about half an hour before you eat, Basically just lines your stomach. Out of all the tablets that I take, it is a really good tablet, and it works wonders if you have stomach ulcers. You have to change your diet still. You can't eat spice. I've never been a fan of spice foods anyway, so that wasn't a problem. And you can, well, it's better if you only eat smaller meals and nothing too heavy. So they gave me the lansoprazole. They gave me some anti-sickness tablets called cyclazine to help me in case I was feeling a little bit sick when I left hospital. And when I left, I also left with a box of painkillers, which were Oxycodone. Now, I didn't know a thing about Oxycodone. All they'd said is to take 5 milligrams once a day and to see how I get on. So I did. And it did work wonders for the pain, because the ulcers were particularly bad. They weren't just little ones, they were really, really painful ulcers. And over the next month, as it happened, my endometriosis came back as well, which is so it's to do with your womb. I won't go into it too much now, but you sort of develop like little cysts almost on your womb, and they have to be removed. But that can cause quite a lot of pain. So I've probably been taking the Oxycodone once a day, the 5 milligrams, for maybe about 2 months. And I was getting a lot of pain from the endometriosis, and I noticed that the tablets seemed to have stopped working. So I went to visit my GP, and they suggested that I upped the tablets. So it would be 5 milligrams twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. And they would also refer me to the Women and Children's Hospital so I could have my womb investigated, and then eventually the cysts removed. So this carried on. As usual with the NHS, things were a bit slow, and it was about 3 months before I could get an appointment just with the consultant. So I saw the consultant. She said, yes, you can come in for your overnight stay where we'll remove them. That's no problem. But by then I was in even more pain. So I'd gone back to doctors again, same GP, and her suggestion was to up the Oxycodone again. Now, at this point, what they also had given me is tramadol, which we're all familiar with, because the tramadol did help with the pain for the endometriosis. When you have endometriosis, you have a lot of pain at the top of your legs. It's almost like a dragging muscular pain. And to be fair, the tramadol did help with that. But yeah, they upped the Oxycodone as well. I still didn't really know anything about the drug. It was just a drug that was helping me. However, I started to do a bit of research into it. When I'd been to the chemist one day, it wasn't my usual chemist, and they'd asked for ID, and they'd made a big deal out of me getting the tablet, and I didn't quite understand why. and they'd said it was because it was a controlled drug. So I'm coming home, I did some investigation, and I found out that it's mainly used for cancer patients. People that are sort of in the final days. It's a strong painkiller, stronger than morphine, and I had no idea about this. You know, they hadn't told me anything about it when I'd left Hull Royal. I could have asked, I suppose. It was just a painkiller to me. It didn't really. It was doing its job. And that was it. So I was a little surprised, and a bit worried that just how strong it was. Now, from the time from me going to see the consultant to me actually being admitted for my endometriosis, my Oxycodone was upped again, and then my GP also suggested that to help with the pain relief, because I had a lot of pain in the night as well, that they would try me, as well as being on the quick relief Oxycodone, they were going to try me on a slow release tablet. It was going to be a tablet I took every night, and apparently that would slowly release Oxycodone into my body, and help me, supposedly. So at this point, I'm taking the tramadol, the Oxycodone, quick relief, and now the slow release. I'm on various other tablets because I'm epileptic as well, but I won't go into all that. But pain relief, it was tramadol, Oxycodone, quick relief, now Oxycodone, slow release, also to be taken with paracetamol. Now time passed. I went into hospital. They removed what they needed to remove. I came out of hospital, and then this was probably a year after I'd been in hospital with the stomach ulcers. I suddenly started to develop really bad pain in my joints, especially my knees and my ankles. It started off quite mild, and it was very frustrating. I was getting up in the middle of the night, and I was suddenly finding I was having to sort of push myself up to get up. And I've never been a really fit person anyway, but I mean, back then I was only 30, and I shouldn't really need any aid to help me get up from bed. And a couple of weeks after this started, I'd gone to see my mum actually, and they pointed out that my feet and my ankles were all swollen. They'd been hurting that day, but I hadn't really noticed anything else. And I checked my knees, and my knees were also swollen and red. And then after that, they became more painful. So once again, I went to see my GP, and their suggestion was they would refer me to a specialist, as they believed it could be arthritis, which was quite a shock to me. I was only 30. I wasn't really expecting to be diagnosed with arthritis. So at the same time as this, they upped my Oxycodone again. And what they also did is gave me the slow release, so I'd be taking that throughout the day as well as the night. Now then, 3 years on, 33 now. And now I take 180 milligrams of Oxycodone a day. That's 18 tablets a day of the Oxycodone. They stopped the slow release tablet and instead replaced it for a fentanyl patch, which goes on my arm. I'd show you it, but it's a bit low down. Let me see. There we go. You probably can't see. The quality is terrible on here. It's a little clear patch that I put on my arm and change it every 3 days. It's basically Oxycodone, but on a patch. I'm not really sure why they changed the tablet to the patches, but your GP, you trust them. The tramadol, I stopped taking that over a year ago. It become that it wasn't helping me anymore, and I just didn't want to take all the tablets. But my problem I have now is that my body is completely dependent on the Oxycodone. Completely. If I miss out one dose, I take 30 milligrams at one time. That's one dose for me. If I miss out one of those doses, a few hours later, I am extremely poorly. I start to get a bad headache. I start to feel sick. And I'll get pains in my stomach. Now, basically that's withdrawal. And this is what the Oxycodone have done to me. They've ruined my life, I won't lie. They have completely ruined who I am. They have made me put on weight. Although I've never been fit, I always had, a good body. I was always at the most a size 10. Now I've stopped weighing myself because it's embarrassing to me. But over the last 3 years, I've put on over 3 stone easily, especially in the last year. So I've put on this weight. They have affected my epilepsy. I now have seizures a lot more frequently than I ever used to. I suffer from grand mal seizures. So it's not just a case of a bit of twitching. I have a full-blown seizure. It's made me depressed. I don't go out now like I used to. I used to go out a lot because I used to enjoy myself like anybody else my age would. But now I suffer from panic attacks, and I do suffer from what my GP has classed it as severe depression, which is a label that we don't like. Nobody wants to have. And the pain in my joints still has not been resolved, but I am convinced that the pain is caused by the Oxycodone, without a doubt. I believe if I wasn't on the Oxycodone, I wouldn't have the pain. I would lose weight. My epilepsy would improve, and I would just feel 1,000,000 times better than I do now. But it's coming off the Oxycodone. I didn't realise how strong a drug it really was. I've tried myself to come off it. But like I say, my body is completely reliant on it now. So if I try and come off it, I get really sick. Now, that wouldn't be so much of a problem, and I put up with that if it wasn't for my epilepsy. Now, I live alone, so if you're epileptic and you live alone, it can be dangerous anyway. But if I come off the oxycodone, I will be fitting all the time, without a doubt. So it's not an option for me to do it by myself. Now, I have been begging and begging the doctors for well over a year now, probably since 2013, to help me. I was finally referred to a pain clinic last October. They wanted to try acupuncture on me, which was fine. I was quite looking forward to it, because anything to help me get off this damn tablet, I'm there. But they couldn't go through with it because of my epilepsy. So, what's their answer? For me to come off 1 tablet a month. And I'm just not prepared to do that. 1 tablet a month would mean it would take me, well, God, it'd take me well over a year to come off it, and I'm not prepared to waste any more of my life. This tablet, these stupid tablets, have ruined my life, my social life, my relationships, everything. And now nobody seems to want to help me come off them. They were very willing to help me on them. I'd get a prescription at the drop of a hat. I am asking and begging them to see if they can put me in hospital where I can be monitored. So at least if I fit, I'll be monitored and it won't be so bad. Whereas here, it's too dangerous. Anybody with epilepsy or that's ever had a fit knows of the dangers. But they don't seem to want to do that either. Whether it's the cost, I don't know. But I need the help desperately. It would change so much. It would change me. I'm a bit of a recluse at the moment. I go out to doctor's appointments, hospital appointments. That's about as exciting as it gets these days. If anybody knows at all of if they've experienced this, if they've had some sort of program in the hospital, if you could let me know, I would be so grateful. Because they just don't seem to want to do it for me. And like I said, I will not. I will just refuse for it to ruin my life any longer. I should be out every day. I should be working full time. I loved work. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. Now if I'm in the supermarket, I'm having a panic attack because there's too many people around me. And it's all because of this tablet. So I'll finish off by saying, if you're ever offered Oxycodone, don't take it. Do not take it. It is the devil. It is the worst thing you could ever do, and you would you would live to regret it like me. And I will also ask, please, if anybody knows of anywhere that they can help me, or put me in touch with anybody that can help me, I would be eternally grateful. Don't want to be on this tablet. I don't get any buzz from it, which apparently a lot of people do. I am simply taking it, all 180 milligrams a day of it, so I can function. It is a complete joke. If anybody wants to know anything more about the tablet, then please feel free to ask me, because sadly I do know far too much about this damn thing, and its side effects. It has many side effects. Please don't take it. It's not worth it. Anybody who sees this video who used to know me from 5 years ago probably wouldn't recognise me. Both from the way I look and mentally. I used to have so much confidence. Too much confidence, really. Now I'd just much rather stay locked in the house all day. It's not right. So, thank you for listening. This is a blog about Oxycodone, and I will be telling you in the future about some of the other pills I take, and a bit more about my epilepsy and how that has affected me over the years, and how it affects you in general. So if there are any of those people who have just found out they've got epilepsy or don't know a lot about it, then I'll be more than willing to fill you in. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay away from the oxycodone, and I'll be back. So, love from Luby.